Nice to be here after a good victory. Couple things. Going into this game, this was a team that shot the three very well. They had made 9 threes in their past 2 games. They were shooting 39% from the three-point line. And going into this week, we had 2 teams that were very similar in terms of their ability to shoot the basketball. North Florida on Saturday has made 17 threes in each game they played so far this year. So it was a point of emphasis coming in. We did a pretty good job of that, 3 for 17, from the 3 for Hartford. The thing we weren't pleased about coming into halftime was the fact that we got beat off the dribble more than we had in the Sanford game. And Coach made a big point about that in terms of tightening it up. He set a goal for our guys in terms of field goal percentage defense. He wanted to get them under 35%. We accomplished that. 7 turnovers, very important for us. Cutting down on our turnovers has been a big point of emphasis in the last 3 weeks. So all in all, pretty pleased. Big guys did a good job getting the basketball inside. Obviously, we had a size advantage on them, but we did a good job of recognizing that and getting the ball inside. So all in all, step forward, especially in the second half, and especially in preparation for North Florida.
How much has Manu changed from when you first got here in the summer to now?
He's worked extremely hard. He's doing a lot of little things. His screening has gotten a lot better. His rebounding is going, in terms of pursuing the basketball, has gotten a lot better. And obviously his offensive moves are getting better and will continue to get better as he gains more and more, confidence in that part of his game. But his attitude has been, Coach made a point the other day after the last game that his attitude was off the charts in terms of his cheering for his teammates, rooting his teammates on, not worried about his stats, his time. And that's the kind of attitude you need on a team going forward into the season and certainly into the ACC.
How much you saw the games, how much of it is confidence? You think that he's confident now that he can do it? Last year he seemed to kind of lack that a little bit.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with confidence, but the confidence has to do with hard work. That's how you get your confidence, and that's what he's done since the summer, right on through the fall, right on through to the start of the season. He's worked extremely hard in individual instruction. He's worked on his moves. He's worked on his rebounds and blockouts, and I think when you work real hard, you get confidence in yourself.
Three-point shooting defense, point of emphasis. Your offense in that regard has been a lot better than it was last year. It's a small sample, but you're shooting at 22.
Yeah, and that's another area where everybody in the team has worked really hard in terms of shooting the ball both off the dribble and more importantly off the pass, because that's how we want to get the three-point shot, off of the pass, especially the inside-out pass. So, I wasn't here last year. I watched a lot of games, and obviously, outside shooting was a weak point. I don't think it'll be a weak point going forward. I think our guys have learned when to take it and how to set it up, which are the 2 most important things.
Coach, it seems like after the first couple of exhibition games where you guys struggled a little bit offensively, the last 2 games have been lights out offensively. 48 points last game, 45 points. What do you attribute that to? Just comfortability, or?
Yeah, I think what I attribute to, is guys learning to play with each other. Because everybody's playing totally different roles than they did last year. I mean, Q's probably the closest, obviously, because he played the point at the end of the season last year. But they're learning to play with each other. In the beginning, as everybody here saw, Q and Trey didn't play well together. Now they're playing well. They're getting comfortable with each other's strengths and weaknesses. They're playing off those. And as a consequence, you can say that for everybody. Our team is learning to play with each other. And it's still not a finished product by any means, but it's certainly, we're making good progress. We have to continue to make good progress.
How can you tell that they're more comfortable with each other? What are some of the aspects you look for?
Well, just in terms of making plays with each other, for one thing. Second off, talking to each other after plays. Whether the plays are a good result or a bad result, they're talking to each other and discussing it and saying, hey, I'll get you next time on the back door. You got a backdoor opportunity there. I'll get it to you. In terms of the post-up, in terms of the big guys, hey, I missed you on that one. I'll get you next time you run down the floor. I'll get you the basketball in the lane. All of that stuff adds to an understanding of how to play together with the personnel that you're playing with.
Coach, can you talk about the post presence of Shianu? I mean, career high 18 points, and he just dominated the past few games.
Yeah, and the thing that we're really happy about, I know what Rick is real happy about is he's dominating in other ways too. He's blocking shots, he's pursuing the basketball and rebounds. In other words, he's not rebounding just in his area, he's rebounding out of his area. And that's a big, important factor for us. Our big guys have to rebound out of their area. The next step we make is the guards rebounding. But Nanu has worked extremely hard. He needs to continue to work hard, and I think you'll see continued development as the year goes on.
Who's the most effective rebounder at the 1, 2, or 3 spots in that?
We haven't figured it out yet, unfortunately. That was, Rick was real. That was a sore point with him at the end of last game. That the guards, the big guys were killing themselves. We were blocking shots. They were rebounding the basketball, and the guards weren't coming in and help finish the play. And obviously, as you get into league play, that becomes more and more important because the bigs basically battle each other, nullify each other. The guards have to win and get the rebound. That's where Terry Rozier was so important for last year's team, in that he gave you 6 or 7 rebounds a game. We have to start getting that from our guards.
Johnson nearly had another double-double in just 17 minutes. Just talk about his progress in these 2 games.
His progress is great. His attitude is great. Jalen gives you a lot of energy, a lot of movement on the floor. He has good timing on his rebounds, especially his offensive rebounds. He has really good timing. And again, another guy who's continuing to get comfortable in the role he's playing. Last year was limited minutes, and this year those minutes are increasing, and they'll continue to increase as long as his play keeps developing. And obviously, rebounding and blocking shots are a big, important part of him. Not so much blocking shots, but rebounding the basketball.
What do you attribute Damian and Trey looking so much more comfortable tonight?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think it's just learning to play with each other, and they had to learn their roles. They came from two teams where they played totally different roles than they're playing here. They had to both learn how to be facilitators, and Damian had to learn how to be a driver as well as a shot maker, okay? And, Rick's been stressing that with him. Trey is learning how to play a pure point position in that, yes, he's a scoring point. He's a scoring guard, but also he's got to learn to set people up and make simple, smart plays, which he's doing.
I didn't take anything away from the first 2 opponents, but it does get difficult as you move forward. And Saturday is going to be a step up, right?
Oh, Saturday is going to be, you made 17 threes in 2 straight games. And I looked at their box score from the last game. Everybody's 3 for 5, 2 for 4, 4 for 6 from 3, I'm talking about. So you're going to have to guard every single position on that. They have 5 guys that can shoot the basketball. We're going to have to guard. This team had 4. That's why it was a really good game for us to play. Like I said, this team had made 9 and 9. 17 and 17 is a whole nother category. They're probably leading the nation, probably in 3-point shooting. So it'll be a real test.
Coach, only 3 shot blocks tonight, but even with that, Hartford, when they drove the lane, seemed like they were throwing up some wild shots and really looking for the shot blockers. That's kind of an additional advantage of having such a good shot blocking team.
Well, that's a huge advantage, and that's something that coaches stressed from the beginning of the year. He stressed that we have to block shots. And the defense's job is to funnel the people into the shot blockers. The shot blockers' job are to change or block the shots, and then the guards are supposed to come and finish the play off, which is something, the last piece to the puzzle, if you will.
Anything else for Coach Willard?
Thank you.